Today we're going to be rounding to the nearest 1,000 using a vertical number line. This number is 39,545. If we're rounding to the nearest 1,000, I'm going to underline the digit in the thousands place. Using a vertical number line, we have benchmark numbers, and we have 3 benchmark numbers, which is where the lines are on our vertical line. We pick our bottom benchmark first. If I look at the digit I underlined, there is a 9 in the thousands box. So I know I'm going to do something with 9 thousands, but I can't write 9 thousands. I have to also take the digit before the 9. So I have 39,000. I will know that 9,000 can't be right because 9,000 is very far away on the number line from 39,000. To get the top benchmark number, we add 1,000 because we're rounding to the nearest 1,000 to 39,000. So 39,000 plus 1,000 is 40,000, and that's my top benchmark. Now we find the middle. We have to think, what's the middle number that's directly halfway between 39,000 and 40,000? That number is 39,500. Now that I have my benchmark numbers, I can add my original number in my problem to the number line. And I know that 39,545 would go directly above 39,500. Now I can pick the number I'll round to. My choices are my bottom number and my top number. The middle number is there to help me figure out which is closest to my original number. Is 40,000 closer, or is 39,000 closer? Because I put my 39,545 above the midline, I know that it's closest to 40,000, and that's my answer. Sometimes we'll have to round in word problems. This word problem says, Mrs. Smith's class is learning about healthy eating habits. The students learned about the average child should consume about 12,000 calories each week. That piece is important, so I'm going to underline it. Carrie consumed 12,748 calories last week. That's important too. Tyler consumed 11,702 calories last week. Round to the nearest 1,000 to find who consumed closer to the recommended number of calories. Use pictures, numbers, or words to explain. We can use our vertical lines to show our work. So first, I'm going to go back to the problem and check what I have to do. I have to round to the nearest 1,000, so I'm going to do Carrie's first. I'm going to make myself a vertical line for Carrie, and I'm going to label it so that I know this is Carrie. And her original number was 12,748. And I know I have to round that, so I'm going to put the rounding symbol. I'm going to set up my benchmarks, and I'm rounding to the nearest 1,000. So I'm going to underline the digit in the thousands place, which is a 2. So the value of the 2 is 2,000, but I know I have to bring all those digits with me, so I'm going to write 12,000. To get the top benchmark number, I'm going to add 1,000 to 12,000, so I'll get 13,000. My mid number would be 12,500. Now I'm ready to put Carrie's number on the line. And I know that's above the midline because 500 is smaller than 700. I can look at 12,748 and I have to decide which benchmark is it closest to, the bottom benchmark or the top benchmark. I know it's closest to the top benchmark, so it will round to 13,000. The goal of the problem that asked me to let's find who consumed closer to the recommended number of calories. And if I look back, the recommended number of calories was 12,000. I know Carrie did not come close to the recommended number of calories. So my guess is that it's Tyler, but in order to get a 3 or a 4 on this problem, I have to show my work. So I'm also going to make a line for Tyler to prove what I think I know. I'm going to label this Tyler and put his original number 11,702 and my rounding symbol. I'll put my benchmarks down. My bottom benchmark, if I'm rounding to the thousands place, is 11,000. I'm going to add 1,000 to 11,000 to make 12,000 for my top number, which would mean my mid number would be 11,500. In Tyler's number in the hundreds place, he has a 7, and I know 700 is larger than 500, so his number would go above the midline. Now when I look at my benchmarks, is 11,702 closer to 11,000 or 12,000? I put that number above the midline, so I know it's closer to 12,000. And that proves that Tyler was closer to the recommended number of calories. Next, I'm going to look through my problem and make sure I did everything I underlined. I made sure that I used 12,000 calories as the recommended number. I used Carrie, I used Tyler, and I rounded both of their numbers to the nearest 1,000. So I did all of my steps, and now I have to write a sentence. Tyler consumed about 12,000 calories. I'm now done with my problem.